Okay, we are live.
Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen. I'm Raziel Gore,
I'm Ben Sutherland.
I'm Marcus Print.
and we are the creators of this Kickstarter project that you see on screen right now. This is a project called Kythera Zero. I am the character designer and one of the lead animators, as well as lead writer, because today's topic is writing. Ben.
I am also one of the lead writers and co-producers.
And I'm an animator.
Yeah! Sheesh.
So, well,
Look
Mark,
to learn more within the world of Kythera Zero.
yeah, no, right? It's gonna be really fun. So Marcus is not the writing guy, but again, we all like generally the same stuff, and a lot of what we like got made into Kythera Zero.
That's right. And what we like...
So, even though writing might not necessarily be in one member's toolbox or another, it's okay because the generals are still there. The general stuff is still there.
Like the main plot and synopsis.
And if you want to donate to this Kickstarter, we've got 9 days left to go. We're in the final stretch, and every little bit helps. Like if you got $1, donate $1. If you've got 2, 5, 10, whatever, donate please. We make it. If we don't, it goes back to you anyway. But it looks good on our portfolio. So
Exactly.
are you guys ready for a stream to talk about what is today's topic, Ben? I said it before.
Today's topic is the writing of Kythera Zero, correct?
Yes, we are talking about writing, not just Kythera Zero, but just our approach to writing and everything. And I'm going to quickly find something cushy for the seat before I begin, because I am dealing with newly found back issues.
Oh,
Oh no!
you doing all right, man?
Yeah,
I'm doing fine.
because that's no good.
It's not even back issues. It's okay. So just really quickly to anybody who's listening, the gaming chairs are a scam. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Just do not do it.
No take.
Fair enough.
I mean, it's not back issues per se. It's just that the seats in these things and the way that they're designed, they're really hard. They are really hard. They hurt. So it's like, okay, I have to start putting extra cushioning on my seat now, which is no bueno.
Yeah, that's not good.
So bear with me for 1 second. And
Well, while he's figuring that out, Marcus, how are you?
I'm doing good. It's a nice weather. Nice weather we're having here. Just say so.
I mean, I don't know what the weather's like in Baltimore. The weather seems nice here.
Oh, okay. It's quite the same because we're kind of like East Coast type of deal. I mean,
Yeah.
it's funny enough because whatever happens here, you'll kind of will feel later on in a couple 2 hours.
Yeah.
Everything just goes up. I don't know why. It's like
How's the weather up there?
I'm drawing it right now. It's like for the East Coast, right? This is my terrible America. Sedition, treason,
Trees and stuff.
It literally goes like this, right? So
Yeah.
it'll go down through Florida, it'll hit through Baltimore, and I'm it's the saddest American. I have failed geography, guys. Okay, I have just completely failed geography.
Rip.
I like your interpolation of South America.
Listen, man, we went to art school. We didn't go for geology.
No.
Geology. Now we're talking
Alright.
about volcanoes.
Wait, I meant geography.
Boom, boom.
Yeah, we went to art school. We didn't go for the ologisms.
That was the dinosaur brain activating.
That's right. You are the Dinosaur King, which is a show that we're going to make, but not Dinosaur King because that's already a show.
We're gonna make Dinosaur Prince.
Dinosaur Emperor.
Yeah, there we go. Much better. Totally original. No one's ever done it.
No one?
No one.
No.
Okay, back on topic. So,
Oh no. We can meander a bit. I could stand to use a bit of meandering. I'm just doing warm-up drawings really quickly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I could stand to meander a bit. What are our topics for today?
Our topics for today are, uh, let's see, we're going to be talking about things we love and believe as screenwriters. We're going to talk about Ada's character once more and how we'd like to write her, and also what we think is important to writing an enjoyable female protagonist. We're also going to be talking about the concept of...
Rugrats mouth.
Huh?
Here we go, Rugrats mouth.
There we go. Rugrats! I miss that
Rugrats
studio.
I
I missed that
don't
studio.
like that.
Hey, it's Victoria again. Hello.
Hello.
well.
So yeah, we've got a fun little stacked conversation lined up for you guys because I would really like to talk about the writing of K0 and just our general approaches to writing. So I think that's where we start off with just what do we love and believe as screenwriters. Ben, you take the lead on this because Ben here among us is the only one who's actually, college licensed screenwriter.
Yes, I'm.
College screenwriting.
I have a
college license.
Yes, I have a degree. It's hanging on my wall.
I don't know where mine is.
Yes, I have it. It's going to tell me exactly how to write everything. It's not about experience. It's about paper. But yeah. When it comes to writing, I think one of my favorite things about
What is Ada doing in that frame, really quickly? I don't know. That's science. Literally just a little warm-up drawing, I guess.
yes. But what I like in writing, especially with characters, is the way they bounce off each other. It's very important that characters have a sort of dynamic that fits who they are and how they behave. And then you have to try and follow those formulas of like, okay, this is how X character would act in this situation, and this is how X character would react. Because there's so many differences. I mean, for one, it has to do with personality. It has to do with situation, character history, age. Like, there's so many different factors that have to be considered when you're writing a character that it's important to keep them all in mind. Otherwise, what happens is you end up writing either cardboard cutouts, simple characterizations with no emphasis on like what makes them unique or a unique take on those characters, and you sometimes make them all sound the same. Now here's the thing, right? When I'm talking about caricatures and things like that, those aren't necessarily bad. There's a certain level of reason tropes and things exist in writing. It's because they can be done well. But that's what matters, is that they're done in a successful way. If you don't execute them correctly, that's where you start getting into the category of just absolutely, like, this is just a trope, there's nothing unique about this character, and I don't know how to sell this at all, except for, like, character angry, character sad, character meandering around, doing nothing. And I think that's the important thing. Also, the other thing to keep in mind is character goals. Like, every time a character does something or interacts in a scene, they have a goal, even a minor one. Like, it has to either contribute to a grand scheme one, or it has to be a small goal they're trying to achieve within that scene. Like, if I'm trying to convince you to come with me to Cheezer's, I'm going to try and convince you to come with me to Cheezer's, and that's my goal. So I have to keep that in mind while I'm talking to you. In a way, it's almost like a form of, like, informal chess. So that whenever a character's talking, they're trying to make a move to convince another one to do something. Even if it's as simple as, will you give me a hug? And I think those are things that have to be kept in mind and in line when you're writing a character. Otherwise, you're going to lose that fire that the character's supposed to have in that scene. Anyway, that's my simple... That's the gist, I think.
Core principle on how you write.
Yeah, I think that's...
Like, and that's like also like, not only with this project, but like outside.
Yeah, I think when I get down to it, the most important thing to me is the character interaction, because that's what's going to make it entertaining. You could have the best idea in the world, but if the characters are not bouncing off each other in lively, entertaining ways, it's going to fall flat. Let's see.
I mean, sometimes I can actually say that sometimes I actually don't mind dry stuff. I've watched Donnie Darko twice. I don't mind the dry stuff.
Well, there are exceptions where the concept is like going to sell it in its entirety. But the thing is that, like, think about like what was it called? Was it called Zombieland? Is that what it was called?
Zombieland.
I forget. It had like a guy who was like nerdy, a guy who was a Southern cowboy.
Zombieland.
Yeah, Zombieland. So like, if I were to take Zombieland and just do the basic concept, no one would want to watch it. It wouldn't be as entertaining. But the fact is that because the characters have all these unique traits to them and how they bounce off each other, that makes the movie. The movie's more about how they interact with each other than it is about the concept, because everybody's seen a zombie film.
Yeah, well, that's because Zombieland specifically is a comedy. Though I do agree with you. I agree.
I mean, I'm actually of the opinion that if you can write a comedy, you can write almost anything.
Oh boy, I'm gonna second you on that one. But now I'm gonna try and challenge you to write a romantic story that is just a comedy.
Oh god,
But,
I
like,
have to write a romantic comedy.
you have to write a rom-com, but one that's not trash. No offense to rom-com lovers. No offense.
That's
I fall asleep.
Listen, that's the ultimate challenge. If I can write a rom-com that people want to watch that aren't into rom-coms, then I've done it.
Yeah, if you can get somebody who's not like into the genre, then you've done something pretty cool. Ada's head is looking kind of messed up, so I'm gonna be working on that. As for me, the thing like as a screenwriter, so my background, or the things that I love rather, is just drawing action set pieces and cartoons, which almost like limited me, but I've since branched out a bit personally. I will not talk about what I branched out into because you'll be seeing it in the future. Ooh, fun. But like, yeah,
wow.
we branched out to like writing weird, abstract, surreal stuff. Ned and Fred Do a Christmas, also on this YouTube channel for anyone who's aware. This the one that no one's going to see. no one saw Ned and Fred Do a Christmas, but it was like really fun to work on it.
Oh, it was a blast.
It almost killed me, and it was still fun to work on. Just because it was such an out there kind of thing. I'm not really a huge fan of things that go by too quickly, but I've also been watching Psyche K, and therefore,
yeah, that'll give you the energy you're looking for.
And yeah, no, I've read I Am Not Starfire, and I will not make comments any further towards it. And we'll talk about the reason why in a bit. But like, just as a screenwriter, one of the things that I like is to make. So I am a firm believer that suffering makes a character. There's a school of thought that thinks that, every character has to, like, you have to be a bit sadistic towards the characters that you write. And unfortunately, Ada will be on the receiving end of that philosophy. Because
Yes.
Ada has already suffered, and her suffering will not stop until I am free until I'm done with the character. And the reason is because this is an action series, right? It's also supposed to be a series about like grand themes clashing with each other, grand ideals clashing with each other. So you generally want there to be some grounding point for the audience to come in. Like, what good are grand themes if you can't really relate to them? Well, that's why you have to have those grand themes relate to the person's personal struggles and relate to their wants and their needs. And that's what I want to talk about today, is like, a character's wants and a character's needs. Because every character has to have a struggle, otherwise they're boring. That's I'm not really about the repartee between characters. I noticed that Ben comes from slightly more comical, The Simpsons-ish background, where he like loves shows like that.
Oh, I adore The Simpsons. I have so much stuff from that.
Well, unfortunately, I come from the era of Barefoot Gen.
Oh man.
I come from sad shit, man.
Listen. Anybody who doesn't want to cry tonight, don't watch that.
No, watch that. Don't do it. Do not save yourself the trauma.
Don't do it, but in reality, they do it.
Save yourself the trauma.
Yeah.
Because it's an autobiography. If you want to know why you should save yourself the trauma, let me just give you a quick synopsis. All right, a little boy in Japan, in Hiroshima, in 1945. You do the math. You do the math on why that.
All you need to say.
That's all you need to say, and then people, oh no.
Oh no.
Is it going to be sad?
Not you.
Think of the Fireflies on steroids. There, got it.
Ooh.
It's because it's great with the Fireflies, but like with 80s graphic violence,
Right.
and it's a kids movie.
Yeah.
It's a
Victoria
shonen kid movie.
Victoria says, I came from the background of Powerpuff Girls and my life as a teenage robot.
Oh, I love those shows. Yeah, no, that I did too, which is why you'll see stuff like Ada pop up in my artistic repertoire.
There's
And
there's got to be a little bit of influence coming in there from my life as a teenage robot by accident.
absolutely, I love that show. I didn't even get to watch it growing up because I didn't have cable, but I remember the ads coming out for it. I'm like, oh, I want to watch that show so much, and I could never watch the show.
Seen like bits of it, but in the moment cable went off, I never saw it until like later on.
I grew up watching it.
That show had such a troubled production. I'm so sad.
It
deserved
did.
better.
I grew up watching it. It's simple but very fun, and the designs are very well put together.
X9.
Yeah.
XJ9.
X9.
What are we gonna talk about in this stream?
Well, like addressing the characters, the things that we like. Well, let's talk about. Hey, you guys want to step into landmines?
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I want to make one more comment just before we jump into our landmine.
We're jumping into landmines soon.
We gotta be safe.
Yeah.
Be very cautious.
Yeah, we got a safety belt that we're gonna break off in a minute.
Oh boy.
But when you're talking about like characters struggling too, right? Like when I'm coming from my point of view, where I'm talking about like characters in the comedic aspect, there's always a struggle even in a comedy.
Right? Yeah, no, there always is.
Like that's super important, and I completely agree with you on that one. Like, you need to have some form of struggle, otherwise the characters don't have something going on. Like, that's why I was like, as I was mentioning earlier when I was talking about like character dialect, and I'm like talking about going to some place called Cheezers, right? The struggle and the struggle that makes me endeared to the character is going to be them trying to get that person to go to Cheezers, and there has to be some form of struggle to it. Otherwise, I'm going to get bored very quickly. Like if they just like, all right, yeah, let's go. It's gonna be like, well, now I'm just watching two guys eat like a cheese sandwich for 40 minutes. Like you have to have a point of reference back and forth.
Listen, man, if I'm gonna make like a comedy and have two characters bouncing off each other, it's gonna be fucking tragic. It's gonna be a tragic comedy.
Oh, wait a second. Victoria says she recommends watching Kid Cosmic. The two people that made those two shows came together and made the show. Oh, wait, so are you saying...
Oh, yeah, Netflix.
That was the Powerpuff Girls, right? So the Powerpuff Girls creator... Oh, he teamed up with My Life as a Teenage Robot's creator, too, to make Kid Cosmic? I didn't know that.
While we're on the topic of really awesome shows that might have been underlooked, let me tell you about my girl, Word Girl, okay? Let me tell you about my girl, Word Up. It's Word Girl, alright? I adore that show. Like, at the beginning of this year, right? If you looked up Word Girl, you would not find anything on it. But like out of nowhere, it just exploded back on the internet popularity, probably because the people who were really little when it was coming on were like old enough to talk about how nostalgic it was. I was watching that show like from 7th grade onward, until I graduated high school, actually, because it was on until 2015, and I graduated in 2012. So it was just one of those fun things that was on in the background, and it had a really fun sense of humor. It was written by Saturday Night Live people, so that's like, I didn't know that at the time, but it felt like it had a much stronger, it felt like it was being really playful with the writing there. And so, Word Girl, sublime. Beautiful show. If you haven't watched it, please do. It's incredibly educational, it's incredibly fun, it's an amazing PBS show.
Yeah, I didn't grow up watching it, but like you've shown me clips from it, and I've been entertained by the episodes because the dialogue is fun. Like the characters are fun, and I think that you did the same thing happened to me when you showed me Martha the talking.
Martha Speaks.
Martha Speaks.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I would put that like next to each other, like they're like sisters or something.
Listen, they have similar energy. Like their writing has similar energy.
Yeah, they absolutely do. That was the thing, though, right? So Martha Speaks and Word Girl were like on at the same time. Again, I didn't have cable growing up, so like I liked cartoons. If I wasn't at my computer watching anime and there was a TV on, well, I'd switch to something with animated featurettes or animated content, which basically PBS. Unfortunately, they killed the Saturday morning cartoon somewhere into my high school years, but it's dead now. It died for college years. I don't remember when they killed it, but it's dead.
Listen, I gotta say, Martha Speaks theme song slaps. Okay. I love that theme song.
Simple but also it jams.
What a jam!
What a jam!
What a jam, man!
What a jam! Okay.
Did we?
So he's ready to step on some landmines.
Well, before we step on landmines, did we ask Marcus
Land.
like about what you like in writing and any characters? I don't think we got a chance to ask you.
Oh, when I write main characters, well, for me, I like to give balance. Like when I'm writing a character, and like if I write another character, like I like make sure that like they're not this like generic, or they're not one trick type of deal. Like
You want
like
them...
you know how you've seen like some when Siegel design characters and like they'll just do like quotations like happy, sad, prolific.
Oh no.
Yeah, some I come across in the past specifically.
Yeah.
So like I try to like break through that and like give it my all. Like much like with animation or like with anything, that's like I want to treat every character the same amount as my main character. It's like
Yes, actually caring about your non-main character cast. You know how many shows
Right.
get that wrong?
Oh my god, there's so many. They're just like main character. Hey, whenever this
there's like and the worst thing is about it is like sometimes they're better. I would say they're better designed than maybe sometimes a protagonist, or like they have a appeal like to look at.
Oh,
But, like,
there's
they have nothing to show.
there's definitely moments like that. I've also seen moments where like it starts off with the main character being the strongest, and then like another supporting character ends up becoming more interesting just by coincidence.
Or the supporting character accidentally becomes really popular, and then all of a sudden they start killing basically they start killing the investment in the other characters. You see, I'm a Detective Conan fan, so that's my life.
No. That was like that was life's greatest mystery.
If you are a Detective Conan fan, you will not be very happy with the direction that the series goes in if you actually like the characters that were put forward at the beginning.
I miss Rubber Hose.
Because unfortunately, it became the Akai Shuichi show. And I hate it. I absolutely can't stand it. I hate this guy and I hate his whole family.
Damn.
I love Detective Conan, but I can't stand this dude and his entire family. It's like they just started coming in family member after family member and like, oh, we're all related to this guy in one very convenient way or another. I'm just like, oh, please stop.
Stop, I can.
Yeah. You know, I think I'm gonna take a step. Take a step on
Really?
I can take a step on that landmine.
Before we step on that landmine, we should probably address what's going on here. So, if you don't know, this landmine is the all too important topic of, female empowerment, female this, female that in content, in media, and whatnot. And there's a huge problem with the way that people are addressing this topic. So I'm gonna stop drawing for a moment as we address this one, because this is gonna be a very difficult thing to maneuver with tact.
Yes.
So bear with us here. So you may have noticed that Ada is a woman.
She is?
Wow, right? Yeah, no, so you may have noticed that Ada is a female protagonist, and one of the things that we wanted to talk about was just like what issues we see with the current landscape of female protagonists and like how that relates to what the writing choices that we're making with Ada.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, we're going to step on that landmine because this landmine's very, very, very important. And I personally take offense to this because I do plan on having daughters in the future, right? And I want these lessons to be imparted to, my sons and my daughters. First and foremost, a lesson should be able to be imparted to your daughter and your son if you're writing a well enough character, right? Like, I fundamentally disagree with the idea that there has to be some sort of samey feature in order for me to relate to a character. If you tell a story about a cat that lost its child and is trying to find it, I don't need to be a cat to understand the issue here.
Listen, man, I just sat down, I watched Lion King, and the first thing that came out of my mouth is, I totally get you, Pumbaa.
Yeah, no, like, so if I have it can be a silent film, it can be one with talking. The same thing should apply to Ada, right? Like, Ada's struggle should be generally universal, and Ada herself should be a character whom anyone and everyone can look up to as a respectable kind of character. Because she has made mistakes, like we all have made mistakes.
Yes.
She's fallen into the wrong side of the law. We might have all done that. She's had to deal with insecurities. There is a way to write these kinds of topics without being a giant flaming douche about it. And that's going to be the biggest way I can talk about this, because quite a few writers are getting to be kind of douchey about their female characters, and this needs to stop. It is time for that to stop. First off, my biggest affront, like I've spoken about this before, respect. There is a big problem with these characters not respecting each other or being completely flippant about things. Like, okay, so you're familiar with the story of the original Mary Sue, right? The Star Trek fan character who, like, got to do all this cool stuff even though it made no sense in the narrative, only for Star Trek to turn around and make an actual Mary Sue pilot.
Yeah, let's go!
Yeah, no, so it's like, and she, like, just flippantly like, during Picard, and then she flippantly talks to her superiors and her colleagues and people. Like, she's supposed to be serving and protecting these people, and there's a whole bag of worms on that topic itself regarding police and serve and protect. But we're not talking about that. What we are talking about is, like, this work in relation to Ada. Yeah, no, we don't do that. If you're going to have somebody existing within a military or within a police organization or even a militia, I don't care, or just in general, right? Like, have that character respect other characters. Writers, people will respect your characters if they are respectable. Respect is earned. It is not given. I do not care what your character's race is. I do not care what your character's sex is. If your character is acting like an ass, then people are going to perceive that character as an ass.
Right.
Write your characters to actually care about the people in their circle. Yes, you can have gruff characters, right? You can have characters who actually are disrespectful towards others, but that is a character flaw, right? And you need to treat it as such. I'm not saying you can't write flawed characters, but you have to address these flaws as if they are flaws. Otherwise, it sounds like a bad person is writing a bad character and presenting that bad character as a good person, and that is a disconnect between writer and audience, and that will kill anything. So please just remember to respect your characters. Ben, what do you say on this?
Well, first, before I do that, I just want to say thank you, Nikai. That's very sweet of you to say, because he said that he respects. He says he respects our characters. Now,
I'm gonna have this head turn.
I absolutely agree. See, the thing is, a character has to have a certain level of respect for the ones around them. Otherwise, they come off as brash, excessively angry, quick to snap. They are not endearing. And I think the biggest pitfall that I'm seeing with female characters is they're mistaking that for bravery. That does not make a character brave. It doesn't make a character strong. It makes them annoying and irritating to watch, because think about it this way. All of the male equivalents, if you really wanted to get to that point, where a character is respected for being tough or brave or what have you, I don't see John Wick go absolutely crazy and just insult every single person around him. In fact, the funny thing is that, like, before we even get to see him, we see other characters show respect to him and him being respectful back. And that's not only comedic, but it also sets up the tone that he's already had this reputation before we've even seen him on screen, right? That is exactly how you want to handle that kind of character. The same thing goes for any other character, regardless of sex, race, whatever. It could be a dancing bug for all I care. All that matters is that
Bug's Life 2 is looking awesome, man.
Bugs Life 2, step up. But like that's.
Can we say Electric Boogaloo now, or is that not allowed anymore?
Bugs Life 2 Electric Boogaloo. But that's what makes it important, because the thing is, if I'm gonna like a character, if I'm gonna like them on screen, they have to have some semblance of endearing qualities. For example, Squidward from SpongeBob, right? He is, well, first off, he's supposed to be the more mature adult version of that you attach to as you get older, but he's also very rude in certain instances. He doesn't really respect SpongeBob. He doesn't want to deal with him. And we're talking early SpongeBob. We're not talking about the one where he's going around doing other stuff that might be where he is the annoyance. This is more of just him having a childlike tendency that gets on Squidward's nerves. And what makes Squidward endearing is that we understand that he has goals, he has dreams, and he actually feels bad for SpongeBob at certain points where he's been mistreated. Like the episode where they go and hunt, like try and deliver this pizza, right? The whole time SpongeBob is driving him crazy. He doesn't care about the pizza. He wants to eat it. He's like, I'm hungry. We're stuck in the middle of nowhere. I can't find civilization. But SpongeBob really wants this pizza delivered. And when it does get delivered and the guy slams the door in SpongeBob's face for not giving him food, Squidward, the character who is more annoying, more easily irritated, less acceptable, less cheerful, is the one that steps up and defends SpongeBob for having the personality necessary to get that job done, and wants him to feel better. Now, the joke is that in the end it makes him go back to work, which is something he didn't want to do, but he showed respect to SpongeBob in that moment because he felt bad for him. It's simple things like that where they show, hey, that's not fair to that character, that's not fair to that person to do that. And that's the important thing. Female characters have to follow a similar suit. They have to bounce off characters around them and show respect. For example, if we have Ada as like she's a federal enforcer, when she interacts with other federal enforcers or other people that are in her department, she's gonna show respect to them. She's not gonna say, move over man, it's a Waity's turn," like, and not something stupid like that, you know, like that's, no one wants to hear that.
A woman gets in it.
Oh god, I hate that line. But
Ruby Rose. Yeah, don't do that.
Beautiful.
That shit's cringy. Everyone sees it. Transparent shit it is. Stop it. Stop it.
Yes, because that's not how you write an endearing female character. That's not how you're going to make me like them. For example, think about Toph from Avatar, right?
Toph is the best. Hang on a second. Let me put my hand down and worship at her feet, because Toph is awesome. Oh, I love that character. I feel like she was an accident. Considering how they've handled that topic since, I feel like Toph was an accident.
She is a beautiful accident, and I love every second she's on screen. But first off, she's my favorite character from the whole show. Like, I really like her more than any other character on screen. But the thing is that she has that tough exterior. She has that sense of, like, no one can bother me, no one can get under my skin kind of thing. But she still, like, shows respect. And even when she's, like, saying a name that might be somewhat irritating to a character at first, like calling Aang Twinkle Toes, it eventually becomes a form of endearment. Because he knows that she's only saying that to him, and it's, like, something that has to do with their friendship at that point. She has her moments where she's sassy or even cracking jokes at herself, right? There's a level of self-awareness that she possesses where she knows what she's doing. And even when she ends up being unreasonable... What?
She hits people to show affection.
Yes. And even at moments where she is being disrespectful or not respecting, like, when she first joins the group, she actually has that moment in one of the early episodes when they're, like, traveling around the train that's hunting them down. She doesn't really show respect to them or how they act. And as a result, she actually has a moment where she talks to Uncle Iroh, and he tells her about how important it is to act that way and show respect to people, even ones who aren't there for you. And she takes that lesson to heart and ends up actually becoming a bit more accepting of what's going on around her. She still has her tough exterior.
The lesson in that episode, because I actually did just do a rewatch of Avatar, the lesson in that episode was more like she's trying to hold her own weight even though she's working with a group, and
yeah,
dick off. But you see what I mean? Like the writers treated it like a flaw to be conquered and addressed, not like not like, oh wow, isn't she strong and cool? No, that doesn't make a person strong and cool. That makes them an asshole.
Yeah, I apologize for any of the inconsistencies I just stated. I haven't watched the episode in a little while.
Oh no, well it's not inconsistent. It's just that the topic was about, because she was constantly talking about how she can deal her own weight or hold her own weight. But it's like you're with a group of people, Toph.
Yeah.
You're not just your own weight. You're literally with an army. If you're with an army, right? It's not just you. It's you and the unit.
Exactly. And it's very important that a character meshes in with the characters around them in a successful manner. See, the thing is, when we're not talking about fighting, or you're not talking about a unit, you're also talking about an atmosphere, an environment that you want to be in. Like when I watch the Avatar gang flying around and going on adventures, I'm there because I'm there for them. I want to see Aang be the way he is, where he's innocent and endearing, but he's also understands the severity of what's going on around him. I want to see where Sokka is intelligent, but he's not exactly the strongest person around. I want to see where, Kythera has a bit more of that motherly-like aspect, where she's guided a bit more by emotion, whereas she has to fight off her brother, who's a bit more on the logical side, despite how ridiculous he might behave. I want to see Toph act tough, but still have this endearing internal personality. I want to see Zuko redeem himself on screen. I want to see him realize the good he can do. These are the excuse me. These are the things that bring me into that environment and make me want to stay. If I sit there and watch, like, Toph act extremely annoying the whole time, where she's just like, hey, isn't it funny when I throw this rock at you and hit you in the head? Like, she's not tough trying to make Aang act tougher. She's just doing it because she's a jerk. And I'm not entertained anymore.
Yeah, and I think at that point, it's like you're overdoing it. It's like it's getting
Overdo it, yeah. Right, there has to be that balance struck. Which is, Avatar's all about balance. So if they didn't strike balance there would have been a problem.
Yes. But every time a character...
Well, no, I'm not trying to talk about, like, different characters and whatnot. More so just how you handle writing something like this. Because it's condescending. It really is when you have a character have to, like, sprout that their value comes from the fact that they're a woman or a man. You don't need a character to do that. Just have your character, like, good.
Let them do the work.
I'm going to quote Miss Marvel. Yeah, that show that I can't stand. I'm going to quote it, where her dad actually goes, good isn't something you are, it's something you do.
Yeah.
Or, it's basic actions speak louder than words. No one cares if you shout, I'm a woman, hear me roar, if the woman is doing a terrible holdo job.
Yes.
We're just going to call it holdoing from here on out. Right? Where the writers are trying to, Star Wars fans, where the writers are trying to present you with this general who's absolutely incompetent, absolutely awful, and she would be mutinied in a minute if she were a real general.
Yeah.
She would be, because she hides her plans from her crew.
Which her makes no sense.
Crew. Yeah, her closest crew, she's scathing, she's cantankerous, she's disgusting, she's like just about as bad as Amber's remade version from Invincibles, the TV show.
Oh god.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that. But what I will talk about is just how, like, and then all of a sudden, the writers are treating it like she's so amazing. It's like, no, hang on, because this just tells me that people who are writing this either are so sorely misunderstanding how people act, or they just don't care. And this is what happens when you exist in your little in a little bubble. Sorry to say, Hollywood is a bubble. Chicago, where a lot of advertisement is done, or copywriting. It's a bubble. Washington, D.C., it's a little bubble. And really quickly, one of the things that we as a studio wanted to agree upon early on is just like, you don't care about the political opinions of people who are animating cartoons. I personally don't.
No.
I don't care about the opinions of people who, like, it's cool if you have them. Don't be, by all means, right? Obviously, like, we're friends with people on social media, on the studio social media, who hold an entirely different slew of opinions than we might personally hold. And that's fine, right? But, like, we're here for the love of art. We're not here
for cartoons.
We're not politicians. Cartoon. We are not politicians. You don't need to care about our political takes.
I really like cartoons. They're very pretty.
It's very, and I really do have something to say. I'll grandstand. I'll proselytize right now. I have something to say about companies that like try and use trendy political issues as marketing and advertisement. That is disgusting.
Preach, sister.
You know, that is actually like dystopian novel kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
That is legitimately dystopian novels kind of stuff where it's like
Silence brand.
And it's really funny because all these companies are telling like stories about how, corporatism, capitalism, yada yada yada, not good.
Yeah.
Bad, greedy, they're trying to abuse you, and yet they're doing exactly what they're talking about in those movies.
Yeah,
It's
no.
just like, hold on a second. Where they're trying to divide people to sell a stupid superhero show. It's like, really?
No.
Why are you doing this? That's awful.
It's the same.
And so, in saying this, let me be very clear. In saying this, Studio YG Pro's ESG is now in the toilet, and I am happy.
No, jeez. No, but like, even as a super easy, example, I have a lot of food allergies. Like, I'm allergic to the entire planet. The fact that I'm breathing is a miracle. But there's this one ice cream that I can eat, and it happens to be Ben & Jerry's, and I can eat it because the way they use the ice cream is it's non-dairy. I can't get sick. But when I open the container, there's just this guy with an afro putting his fist up saying, "I know my rights," and it's called Change the World with WHIRL, and I'm just thinking,
that's cringy.
Not only is it cringy, I'm like, dude, I'm just here for the ice cream, man. Like, I'm just here for the ice cream. Like, that's it. I'm not here for your politics. Even if whether I agree with you or not is absolutely irrelevant, dude. I am just here to eat the ice cream and feel those calories going deep inside me. That's it.
And vanilla nutrients.
Exactly. I'm just there for that vanilla goodness, okay?
I think a lot of the issue is that they just forgot that there's this thing called the dialectic.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to college, right, they'll talk to you right about it, right? All the dialectic, what's his name? Foucault? Michael Foucault. Michael, yeah, there we go. Marco Foucault, and he talks about the dialectic, and he talks about the panopticon. And I'm not personally a huge fan of Michael Foucault, but whatever. The dialectic's important, so bear with me here. Like, the dialectic, it's a conversation between two people. It's a thing that we do in media. If you're trying to present an argument in media, then you should probably have a character who properly represents the other side. Right? You don't want to make straw men, because that's where you get propaganda. So it's like you want to tell your story, fine. If you have a set of beliefs, then fine. There's nothing wrong with telling a story that is innately political. There's nothing wrong with explaining your beliefs to people like we're doing now. What I draw the line at is when those beliefs are like inherently trying to divide people and split them up along political lines just to sell a movie ticket.
Yeah.
Like you're trying to tear people apart. You're trying to tear families apart. You're going to get people fired and blacklisted from the industry or whatever over what? A movie ticket. It's the most insidious kind of practice, and the day it's over with and done, the world will be better for it.
It'll be a better place.
I do mean this as respectfully as possible, guys. Stick to cartoons. No. Stick to cartoons.
Yeah, like, I understand where there's occasionally maybe one or two lines in there that might slip through because of your own personal bias and how you write. Like, that'll happen, but that has to be unintentional. Like, it can't be like, oh, I'm going out of my way to tell you exactly what I believe and what you should believe if you're watching my show. Like, that's not how you write a TV show. That's not how you write anything about entertainment. The whole point of entertainment, entertainment can make you think. It's to make me not think about the fact that I have to go fight with my family when I go to Thanksgiving dinner. Okay, like, I don't want to do that through television.
Grandpa started talking about Trump again. We don't do that here. We love each other, right? We should love each other regardless of what we believe. We're adults.
Grandpa, how many times have I told you that is not a good belief to have anymore?
And just so we're clear here, that I think that's true inclusivity, because then you bring in people who come from different perspectives and are actually able to help you in curving how you write a character and directing that character in certain places, and they might be able to give you decent insights. I just miss being able to talk to people. I really do.
That's important. But when we're getting back to like what it takes to write a female character, another thing that I think is a problem besides just the excessive bravado that's being mistaken for bravery is they don't let them be weak. They don't let them have any weakness. Now,
oh my God, thank you.
Now, when I'm talking about this isn't to mean that female characters have to be weak. I'm saying every character has to have some form of weakness to be believable. There's
no con. There's always a pro.
Well, that's just it, right? And ideally, I spoke about the wound before. The wound should also tie into their weakness.
Yes, exactly. There are things that a character faces that they're weak against, or they are emotionally not prepared for, or morally have trouble with. These are things that a character must experience. Now, I'm going to speak of a male component, and then I'm going to speak of a female component, both of which have a very similar arc of how they're handled, at least in my opinion. Because both of them...
Before that, allow me to just address right now that when speaking about, those things that a person has to be emotionally ready for, they're not perfect, they're infallible, they are infallible like we all are. Ada, for example, and this is premium content. You're not going to see this in the marketing. Ada, for example, she has some very close to her heart family issues that she is actually the direct responsible party in.
Yes.
She did something bad. She did something pretty bad. I won't tell you what, but just know that it wasn't kosher. Okay.
Yeah. But as I was saying, so first I'm going to speak of the male component. I'm going to take Star Wars, for example. We're going to talk about Luke Skywalker for a minute. Luke Skywalker, when he starts on screen, not only does he not understand the world around him because he grew up on a farm, but he himself is not prepared for any form of wanting to be a hero. In fact, throughout the first several movies, like the first 2 movies, he mostly gets his butt kicked. A lot. But the thing is that he keeps pushing and keeps trying, and there are successes and failures. In the first movie, there's a level of success because they actually blow up the Death Star, which is then followed by Episode 5, where they struggle severely and actually end up somewhat losing, which is then followed by Episode 6, where Luke himself seems to have the highest level of confidence. So we start off with a kid who's in an extremely small world, right, with no understanding of anything that's going on around him. And he's now forced into a sense of adventure that he is not prepared for, and he has to play the hero. When he first does it, he stumbles, he falls, he struggles, and he ends up having to bounce off characters he's not even used to. For example, he runs into like Han Solo, a galactic smuggler, who clearly he has no idea how that person's going to behave. He has to deal with...
He's an orphan, so he's solo.
Yes, exactly. That's the point I wanted to make.
Oh no. My bad.
Oh no. Solo.
I'm like half paying attention, half drawing here. So I'm not really sure. I'm not gauging where this is going.
Now, everybody, make sure that you go and buy Star Wars for Xbox Connect so you can hear I'm Han Solo for like 30 minutes. The thing about Luke is that he's allowed to fail. He's allowed to struggle. I mean, for God's sake, he loses his hand in Episode 5. He doesn't even have a hand anymore. He has a robot hand that he has to have installed because his own father cuts it off him, right? This is somebody who is trying to become what's necessary for the environment or world around him. But he's not immediately prepared. He's not immediately competent. He doesn't know exactly how to handle certain forms of machinery. He has to go through a training regimen with Yoda to try and even understand how a lightsaber works. He doesn't even know how the Force works at all. And if anything, if he had run straight head first into danger by any means without thinking, he'd probably be dead, and then Star Wars would just be over. So he goes through the hero's journey where he becomes what he needs to be around him to actually succeed. And it's also due to the actions of other people that he interacts with that make him who he is. Like his own sister, who he doesn't know exists, and his sister doesn't even know he's her brother at that point. She is already having this level of confidence because she's been stuck in politics for a long enough time. Where Princess Leia actually knows the gravity of what's going on. She hasn't been living on a desert planet for like 17 to 18 years. And it's characters like that that tell him and show him the gravity of the things that he's dealing with and how to handle them. Yoda shows him what's necessary to actually become a successful person, what's necessary to have a sense of patience and self-growth. Otherwise, what he's going to do is become impatient, jump headfirst into danger, and probably get himself and others killed. Now, a female equivalent, and this is my personal favorite to use whenever having this conversation, because one, it's my favorite movie of all time, and second, I absolutely just like the character. Now, I'm an Alien fanatic. I love Alien. I love the franchise. Even though there's only like 2 properly good movies, I really like it. It falls right into that perfect, like, weird sci-fi dread kind of series where it's very interesting to me. But I'm going to focus on Ridley, the main character. Was it Ripley?
Ridley Scott.
It was Ripley, I think. Whatever. I'm going to assume I'm correct. Ripley, right? They're on a ship where all they do is carry around cargo. They don't have any expertise with military operations. They barely have any understanding of how weapons work to begin with. The only thing they know how to do is moving one cart to the other. And the beginning selling point of each character, before they start getting picked off, obviously, is also their personalities and how I sell them. Now, Ripley, right? She does not have a heroic personality. She is terrified, as she rightly should be, because this gigantic monster that they've been transporting that they didn't even know existed is full of acid blood, has metal-like skin, is like bulletproof, and the only thing that freaks this thing out is fire. Not only that, but it's like a gigantic, terrifying bug. It doesn't feel human, right? And
It likes to eat.
yes, let me touch your skin, like that.
We're listening to Ben go off here. Hang on a second. For those of you who have just joined,
Yes,
Ben go off about Alien.
I love Alien, but
First Star Wars, now Alien.
yes, I'm in.
Alien, bro. We're like listening to you go off about everything. He's like, this is my time.
Yes, well, I mean, I really do adore Alien, as much of a mess as that franchise is, because I don't know what it is. There's something about
your question as soon as he's done, and then we can get to Marcus's thoughts on this topic.
Yeah.
Okay.
If we're talking about for me, when it comes to like liking this kind of stuff, I like what I like to call biological horrors. Like this and The Thing are way up my alley. I just really enjoy them. But they're also good movies, and they're well put together. Now, getting back to Ripley. Ripley as a character, when she first starts out, she's terrified. She's not even the most proactive character. Other ones are. Characters that are more experienced. And the only thing that really brings her into her own is when there's nobody else around her for her to bounce off of or rely on. She's forced into a situation where she must become what she needs to be to survive. She knows that the people on her ship are being killed one by one. She knows that she's been lied to by the very government that she's trying to trust. She knows that one of the people that was on their ship was not just a very stoic man, but a robot that was actually sent to sabotage them. And she knows she's the only person who is left to stop this unkillable monster from just going around the cosmos and end up destroying something in its path. And that they can massively breed quickly and make more of them, which would lead to a mass genocide if she doesn't figure out what to do. So what does she do? She faces her fears head on, as terrified as she is, and manages to become what's necessary, much like Luke, to become a better person, or at least in this case, a brave person. She knows that she may not live. She doesn't even know if she's going to win. But what she does do is she goes, faces it head on, and forces the alien out by using her brain. She uses a machine, she presses it, and it goes out an airlock and freezes into space. She knows she can't kill it, but she can immobilize it. And that's what I really like about it. She doesn't start off brave. She becomes it over time, and is forced to do it because she has no one else left to rely on. That is a good way of forcing a character into a situation where they have to become something more than they already are. If I do the opposite and she's already super competent, my investment is no longer in her character journey. It's now, how do I get invested in the alien? How bad can I get her butt kicked, you know? And even that would make me not like her. That's how a female character can be written to fit similar to its male component. The answer is quite simple. It's not about the fact that she's a woman. It's about the fact that she's a human being. Both of them are humans, and the human experience is universal, which is why you're able to identify with things like an anthropomorphic character or an alien from another planet. They just have to have human-like qualities.
Oh wait, hang on a second. Why am I drawing this hand here? It should be. This is why I don't light table, guys. Because that's actually going to end up causing issues in a moment. So I'm trying to keep her hand. Yeah. By the way, just stock generic anime pose.
Hey.
Why not? Yeah, no, she's having a good time. As for your question, Nakai, do we use Blender or any similar 3D software? I'm trained in Autodesk 3D Max. I eventually learned Maya in college. I learned ZBrush in college. I am not the Blender guy, but that said, I mentioned it before. We want to make the freeware studio. So if and we ever find ourselves doing like heavy 3D, I'd ideally like to do it in Blender.
I have
probably Blender and Unreal together because Unreal's pretty cool.
I have semi experience in Blender because I did some things in it, but I don't understand it enough to say that I have a grasp of the program.
Yeah, I like Maya. Like I remember doing like a character model, and it was fun. But now it's like I completely forgot about it. Much like high school, like math or science, you name it. It's like this is crazy. But I should get back to it.
I may not be that experienced in Blender, but I adore Blender.
You adore
like the program Blender.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
I think
no, we weren't talking about I Am Not Starfire.
No.
Yeah, that is its own bag of worms.
Yes, that's something else entirely
that is its own
we would have to.
Worms. I actually have read it, by the way. I did sit down and read it.
We both have.
Okay, so you did read it. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So I have read I Am Not Starfire. It is not good either, but that's another topic for another day.
Yeah, that would take a lot more to break down. As for what you're saying, Nakai, we can't really. Well, I don't think we're versed enough in Maya to teach somebody how to use it to begin with. And the other thing is that Maya itself is a very, very complex program. Like, it's very finicky. Like, if you don't do something in a certain pattern or a certain way, the program will fight you. So there are...
Like Crash, for instance.
Yeah. I would say
I learned one thing while working in 3D Max that people at UArts I noticed didn't do. In 3D Max, right, when you're working on a project and it gets kind of big, you start doing saving, but like incremental saves. So you can like always jump back and get in the event that something goes critically wrong. I have lost so many projects to like a single bug in Max that I am the incremental save god. And if you can see this right now, if you can see the top here, I am failing my lessons because this file hasn't even been saved yet. So let's say I have an issue with TV Paint right now. Well, this is gone forever, but it's okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of why I do it like this, because they're designed to be disposable exercises anyway.
Yeah. But 3D, there's a lot of incremental saving. So I would, if you're looking to get into things like 3D Nakai, I honestly would recommend starting off with things like Blender. Because
Skillshare hashtag not sponsored, no.
No, we're not sponsored, but I'm saying this.
I've never used Skillshare before.
Listen, Blender may still be very hard, but the thing is, Blender itself, as opposed to Maya, I think has a more user-friendly interface, and there's a long...
Absolutely not. Ew. Ew, 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 oh, ew, 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 ew. I hate Blender's interface. I've looked... Before I even touched Blender, I'm like, can I please make this more Max or Maya-like? I don't like Blender's interface.
I don't know. I like Blender's interface. I've used both, and I tend to prefer Blender over Maya. But the thing is that Blender has a lot of videos out there for you to use when you're trying to learn 3D. So I honestly would figure out that program a bit more first before I would go jumping into Maya. And Maya itself is a very expensive program, so unless you have the funds to use it, I wouldn't necessarily recommend using that right now.
As for Blender, just like learn it one step at a time. You know, learn your planes, learn how faces work, learn your basic blend, like learn how to make basic shapes by doing box modeling, and then you can get to sculpting, and then you, like just learn it one thing at a time.
Yeah.
Do we use Adobe? We all know how to use Adobe products, including the ones that no one uses. But
Yes.
that said, I don't use Adobe anymore because it's expensive, and my dream is the freeware studio. So you know. Why be expensive when you can be the freeware studio?
We know how to use Adobe. Marcus specifically works in Adobe like every day because you work in Animate like every single day.
Yeah.
But we
I
also
almost love it.
you sound so thrilled. But we've used Adobe, if we're talking like across all three of us, like we've used Adobe Animate, we used Adobe Audition, we've used Premiere, we've used After Effects, we've used like God, I remember I've used Illustrator a few times. I've used Photoshop, obviously. I've used
Audition.
Audition. God, what was it called? It was like I could make PDFs in it.
Oh, Acrobat.
Acrobat.
That's my jam.
I don't know why that's a program that I have to pay for because some of it's just reading a PDF, but whatever.
I think Adobe needs to learn that like they are under they need competition again. That's why I'm like DaVinci.
Yes.
All these Unturtles are just coming out of nowhere in a good way.
Yeah, Blender is one of them too. That's the best part.
Yep.
Blender is a really good Adobe alternative, especially because it like allows for 3D. But people work out of Blender into Adobe.
Yeah. You can risk it in the Kai, but if you make that kind of investment, it's going to be a lot of money that you put down.
Maya has a free student version, so you can just download it.
Oh, well, if you're a student, then yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, you can literally just download it and it'll ask if you're a student. Last time I checked, it never asked for ID. It just says like it'll put a watermark if you export stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind then.
Yeah, no, it's industry standard. You can practice with it. That is one of the things I love about Autodesk. Now, if only Adobe did that. I don't know.
Yeah, that would be great, but Adobe doesn't care about you or your family.
So yeah, no, if you want to just learn the basics, Maya should actually have you covered with the free student version. Of course, like when you start making exports with, complicated renders, then that's where you're going to start running into because they're going to start running into oh, we can't, they deny you certain lighting engines, certain texture engines, but it's for learning. It's for learning the basics of the program, so you should be fine.
Yeah.
You should be fine.
I recant my statement then.
Yeah, Maya's not free though. Blender is.
Yes.
My DaVinci's not entirely free, but it gives you enough features while free to make it. It is now my choice of program for editing because it also has After Effects capabilities. It is a little.
It doesn't have a service per se.
It chugs though. It can chug if you're not careful. So.
Yeah.
Always manage your files, kids.
Yeah.
So Marcus, what say you on just writing this kind of stuff? Because I noticed that you yourself have quite a few, really cool badass female characters. You have Elise, you have Spice the Rebel. Again, to this day, that design.
Oh yeah.
Magnificent.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Beautiful. Very good.
Again,
wait,
for my mindset.
1 second. One that works with my old behind Microsoft laptop.
Yeah.
One. Probably not. No. 3D programs. If you're working on a laptop, get a mouse, and also don't do 3D on laptops. You will thank me later.
Yeah, you can. The thing is, I used a laptop when it came to building the simple shapes and things like that in Blender. That did work, but once you get into the sculpting stage or rendering, yeah, don't even bother. Your computer will turn into a toaster.
Oh yeah, and most editing software also require a lot of RAM, a lot. This computer I'm working on right now has a ton of RAM in it and an amazing up-to-date Core i9 CPU. And even it's chugging sometimes. I'm like, oh goodness.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I have my files from an entirely external hard drive. I have 2 hard drives. One of them's a solid state, and the other for basics, and the other is just an Elements Black, which is for editing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have another entirely external hard drive to that. So I'm rocking externals on externals on externals right now. I'm rocking a lot of save space, is what I'm saying.
Sure is.
Yeah.
But back to Marcus.
Sorry.
The way I mean, when I'm really drawing a character, I'm just literally just writing a story. That's all literally what I'm trying to get when I do this anyone, including female characters as well. It's like I don't think too much of it. I just want it to look fun, a fun story, and that's it. There's like that's like me in my writing mindset. Because like I feel like a problem's like everybody puts too much thought into it when they're writing a story and the design. It's like you don't need to do all that. Like don't look at what everyone else is doing. Look at what you're doing. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Focus on yourself before stay on your own lane. And I feel like nowadays, like my problem is like a lot of people are not looking on the road. Like they're looking the other way. They're not looking at what they're writing. like they're copying on someone's like homework or if you're taking a test, right? And like everyone's like looking at like the guy next to their desk, like the answers or whatever, which is actually not the answer. So like they're all failing. They're all like that's what I say.
The answer is that I have to be
Don't
someone
do that.
else.
Don't be that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't be that guy. That guy sucks. No one likes that guy. Really quickly, I'm going to be running over this hair here because her hair is the hardest thing to keep consistent. But you want to feel the hair through. You don't want to just
Wing it.
Yeah, you don't want to wing it. So I'm just working at this one at a time. Really quickly on what you said, Marcus, because it's very important. You said people are thinking a bit too hard. I think something that you missed in that sentence that I don't know if you realized you missed it or not, but I don't know if you were planning on saying it. One of the really cool things in that sentence there, I'm not even going to say you missed it, it's just like something that was in that sentence there is like people are writing the female character and not writing a character. See the problem?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it's like take the branding of the character away for a second and just write a character. Being a female for Ada is incidental. She is a hardworking, incredibly polite, and incredibly passionate person. Her theme song that you will actually be hearing, I will unveil this theme song, the version that we've been progressing with for a while. So the thing about that is Ada, her theme is save you every time. I'll save you every time because she's dealing with her own checkered past and issues, and those are her emotional wounds. Those emotional wounds that tore her apart from her family, and her emotional wounds that make her strive to be better than what she was when she inflicted those wounds on herself. I'm not going to be the guy who writes Ada performing a terrible thing and then just saying, well, or calling anybody who points that awful behavior out as an
Look at them. They're innocent.
We're not here to do that. We're here to write a compelling and engaging character. So Wonder Woman 1984, there was a very serious issue in that movie, if you know what I'm talking about. Wonder Woman's little magical rock transforms some random dude into her boyfriend, and then she proceeds to have sex with him. Somebody else's body. Now,
I'm calling the police.
We in the real world call that rape, and that's fucked up. And the writing just pretends like it doesn't exist. It's why would you write that scenario and never address it? Why would you do? I think it's actually a thing that you can address. I'm not saying Wonder Woman can't do what she did, but somebody, please, anybody in the story, address this as an issue. Call her out on it, please.
Yeah.
Make her regret what she did. Things that can just add to conflict. A lot of conflicts are just characters in their characters acting up, and that also drives into their core wound and the thing that they want the most. What does Ada want the most? She wants to redeem herself, and she wants the people around her to be safer from people like she once was, and that's her story. That's our wound, that's her desire, and that drives the conflict of the plot. So eventually, when things start getting a little weird regarding the people that she works for, where she starts seeing through the Iron Curtain, as it were, that's where we haven't exactly been subtle about that. That there is some conspiracy at work where she works.
Yeah.
We haven't been subtle about it. General Hawks actually, like, there's a Think Ada video where we actually like spell it out. Think Ada.
Oh.
Yes.
You're fighting to support a corrupt technocratic order that only harms people. You know you want to join Hux Metal. Fight for freedom. Oh man. Sean did that take after he'd done General Hawk, like a few months after he'd done the original voice clips. So like his General Hawk got so much stronger.
It did. Yeah, he was great to work with.
Yeah, everyone here is great to work with. That's why we want them on board. We're not gonna isolate or try and get people to murder each other over things. Now, if there happens to be a particularly violent fan war, I'm for it because I'm from the olden days of the internet, where if somebody insulted your waifu,
Your waifu for lifeu.
you got into a forum and somebody called you like every mean name in the book. I'm from that era, okay?
It's survival of the fittest, baby.
Survival of the fittest. How dare you tell me that Ryoga from Ranma 1/2 or Ranma himself could beat Luffy? That's just
That's heresy.
that's an actual argument I've gotten into, by the way.
It
Ranma
is.
versus Luffy, who would win?
Wrong, man.
That was an argument I got into. This person, he was wrong, but I still got into that argument.
Well, good for you. You're wrong.
I mean, you're wrong, but
You're just like, well, good for you. You're wrong.
wow, that take was awful. You're wrong, and you're never going to be right again.
You're wrong, and you should feel bad for being wrong.
Yeah, no, I come from the era of internet blood sports. That's one thing, but trying to destroy people on real life, sensitive topics and political issues. That's a whole different ball game. We want to make Ada to be the person that anyone can look up to. That's the point I'm getting at. Anybody, regardless of their race, sex, creed, if they're a dog. If a dog understands English well enough, then I want that dog to be inspired by Ada. Damn it! I want Martha to speak on how cool she is.
Oh, what the hell?
Yeah, no, because it's like, let's just tell fun stories again. I really want to be from the era where we start telling fun stories again. Where we stop trying to murder each other over these petty squabbles and real life issues and love each other again, damn it. Love each other. Love each other.
Shut up and love yourself!
You tell me which of these is better. Oh, wait, hang on. No, I can't do that because then I would mess up this one. I'm sad.
What was I saying? I just spaced out for some reason. What were we talking about a minute ago?
Well, no, I was just finishing up on the writing a cool female character.
Right.
Topic.
It was like the one Luffy versus.
Right.
I know we're long off of that. I was talking about internet blood sports then, but let me turn this around.
I think this feeds back into like character respect, because we it's like sometimes when they want to make a character cooler, they tear one down to make the other one look better. I don't know if we've addressed that yet.
We may have, but I think we were probably talking about it in person before even starting the stream because it was something that we wanted to talk about today.
Right. Yeah, that's a real problem. Like, it does not make... It's not a good idea. For one, it's just... I just don't like it. And the other thing is, like, when you do that, it makes another character look worse for no good reason. You don't have to do that. Like, it's a problem that needs to be addressed, really. Because once...
Don't revalue other characters to prop up your own character. Especially in, like, these remakes where they're propping up newly made character by just dumping on the old ones. Like, Obi-Wan just became the show about that Valley Island. Just make it her own damn show then. Like, why are you slapping Obi-Wan and making him a passive git the whole way through?
Yeah. Like, it's not even like it's not like her character can't exist. It's just that's not her story.
It's fan fiction, right? It's like literally Mary Sue fan fiction.
Yeah, there's also some very strange character choices. I mean, like, she's just like let go at the end for her actions, even though she spent the last 10 years just murdering people. Like, I know she's talking about, like, I was doing it to hunt down Darth Vader because he killed my friends and family. It's like, yeah, but you just spent 10 years just murdering people's friends and family.
Yeah, no, you gotta have characters be able to like actually face consequences for terrible things that they've done.
Yeah, like, don't get me wrong, there are people and characters that will make decisions that contradict what they're trying to actually do. That will happen. But but they have to face a consequence for doing it. Think about, for example, here, let's use Darth Vader as an example.
And the
right?
fact that like, it's been going on for, it depends on like how long like, this has been like a thing, like an issue or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
Like, let's use Darth Vader as an example, right? He dies immediately after redeeming himself. Now, if he was alive, he would have to face the consequences of his actions, where he literally tortured the galaxy for years. Nobody's gonna.
That's why he died, exactly. Because it's like, okay, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna have.
Like, you, frankly, if you kept him alive, you can do that, but he has to be in a fucking prison.
Yeah,
like
he's called Karma Houdini.
Yeah, like, Darth Vader is not a character where it's just like, oh well, you defeated the Emperor, so we cool. It's like, no, dude, no, that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. Like it
Not a long shot.
like it's not like it can't sound like that.
Yeah, the hand's gonna overshoot here. Pull it back.
What was I saying?
And then I'm going to figure out the spacing for how too short. Probably 3 frames, probably. And then fix the way the hand moves as it does it, so it like actually comes towards the audience. Now I'm like literally just going in here and making these minor corrections, and because I'm working digitally, I can get away with a lot of corrections.
Yeah.
Yes. Work digitally, kids. It saves you paper.
Saves trees.
Yeah.
Really? Does it? Because last I checked, it takes a lot of energy to run electric grid.
I said it saves trees.
Now I hear carbon dioxide's healthy for trees. A forest just sprouted in Africa that wasn't there because of excess carbon dioxide in the atmosphere.
That's pretty cool.
Wow.
That's pretty neat, right?
Wow.
Nature finds a way.
It always does.
Lifer finds a way.
You know, like finds a way. Except for unless you're the Jurassic Park franchise where they murdered it and they're just parading its corpse around. That life didn't find a way. But
Please stop. No. No, what did they do? What did they do to what did they do to Jurassic Park, man? What did they do?
Yeah, did it, dude. You mean?
Why you gotta do this? Why you gotta do this?
Because they care.
No, they don't.
I don't know. I think we've spoken a lot at length about just what it means to us to tell these stories. And one more thing I'd like to address here is that, again, I'm from, it is really cool, right? Like, if you watch the news and they'll have you thinking the world's ending and it's not, and you go outside and the birds are still chirping. The birds are still chirping.
They're still there.
The trees are still growing every year.
Yep.
Carbon's healthy for trees, or carbon dioxide rather. Carbon dioxide is healthy good for trees. That's what they eat. So in excess carbon dioxide, like the Carboniferous period, you get really, really massive trees. It looks like she's doing air quotes. I don't think I wanted to do that. I don't think I wanted to do that.
It looks like she's like in quotation.
Wait,
Yeah, no, these are air quotes.
What do you mean by Brawlhalla?
I wouldn't know. I don't know what that is.
Are you talking about the game? I know Brawlhalla on Steam. It's like.
Oh wait, that might have been me. I was looking at something and I might have been playing the sound.
Oh, I don't know. I don't hear it on my end, so it might be on your end.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, we want to tell stories where the characters actually get scarred. If you know anything about my stories, I've been called a very mean writer for a reason.
Yes, you have.
I've been called a very, very, very mean writer. Even before the story starts, Ada's been blown to pieces.
Yep.
There's a piece of art that I will pull up in a second that actually shows you. I'm not sure if I can actually show all of these, but like there is a piece of art that shows you what happened to her body per se and how she wound up being where she is in the world, her finding her place in the world. One of the things to note is that she so this isn't really spoilery, but she basically ran off against her superior's orders because she was trying to solve a problem and her superiors were kneecapping her basically. And what happens is she gets caught in a trap and gets blown to bits.
It'd be like that.
Huh?
It'd be like that sometimes.
Yeah, so there's a beach picture that we've actually posted on the studio social medias that I drew a while back. And half cheesecake, half lore. This is actually like here to show you where her parts are machine and where her parts aren't.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I drew this, literally, is to show you that. But also because you do have to figure that stuff out, because as we were like going through our studio production logs and whatnot, we're trying to figure out demographics. There might come a point if we aim younger, then this probably wouldn't happen. But it seems like we're aiming older, so we can. Ada's, she's a person. She has a room. She's gonna be drawing her draws. All right, guys, keep it. She's gonna be drawing her draws. This is basically here to tell you how her legs are supposed to be constructed. Where the metal ends and where the skin begins. And her skin is being kept alive by the metal that's there. So if you realize just how much of her here is metal, that is how much of her was blown to bits. Ada died. She actually died. And that's another part of her core wound, is that, aside from being a literal gaping, missing body parts from here on here, aside from that, her core wound is literally that she died and now she's a cyborg. So it's like, hang on a second. Think about this for a second. Let's say you died, right? And you woke up and most of your body was replaced with inorganic machine parts. You would be wondering to yourself, and like you flatlined, right? Because you were dead for hours, over a day. Are you even the real you? Like, hang on a second. What happens to your soul? Can you be considered a human if you're like missing this much of your body? And these are like serious issues that resonate with Ada, because she takes that's a huge part of the story that we want to tell here. It's just that Ada struggles with her own humanity regarding this stuff. This is really important to the character.
Yep.
So it's like, it's funny to me that you can get this generally cheesecakey ass drawing and then also pull the tragedy out of it, because there is tragedy to be had in here. And that was one of the first things I was thinking about when designing this character, is like, what is the tragedy that this character has to deal with? What is Ada's actual core wound? Big wound. And like, this also lets me talk about the K0 episodes.
So that was a joke, or you were serious?
Oh right, yeah, we were gonna talk about that.
Talk about what?
How we wanted to structure them.
Oh yeah, no, the episode structures. Yeah, no, we were going to talk about the episode structures because K0 is a very unique show in that it's both episodic, serialized, and abstract at the same time. Oh yeah, she still has her brain. Her head is there. That's all working. There's no metal on her head.
She's still receiving the brain waves. She hasn't put tinfoil on yet.
You know, she hasn't gotten the tinfoil yet. Yeah, she still does have her brain, but like you have to remember that her entire body's being fixed or like held alive by metal. So she's barely a person right now, as she would say, and that's unfortunate. So it's like, is she still barely a person? She's trying her best to do what she was doing before she became metal. So there's always that. You know, but the format of the story for K0 is that we can tell many different stories. Generally, it's a 12 minute, I would say. 12, 13 minute halves.
Yeah, it was like 12, 13-minute halves.
Yeah, 12, 13 minute halves, like which their own stories in them. You've seen cartoons like this. The Powerpuff Girls does it. But sometimes the Powerpuff Girls will also do a full episode with no break in between. And then other times there will be like two-parters. Well, that's what we can do in K0. You can tell these unique stories. You can tell pretty abstract stories. You can scratch out dialogue altogether and tell like a short film kind of story. And that's allowed with K0 because this world is so complicated. And Ada's not the only tragic character. Let's be very clear here. She is not the only tragic character. There is another main villain of Ada's. And I can name drop her. Her name's Third Eye, but the spelling on that's not going to be dropped because that's a secret. This Third Eye character is also another tragic being who she is the result of society just kind of stepping over and ignoring her plight. So you can see why she'd be a little salty about that. You can see why she'd be just a tiny bit salty about it.
That's a smidge.
Just a smidge. And like of all the villains, I think this character Third Eye I think General Hawk represents the wild side that she can be. I think that Third Eye would represent the monster, the inhumane monster that she can become. Because Third Eye is not a person anymore. Third Eye dies before the story even begins. No, it's not a spoiler. She's dead before the story even begins. But
Yep.
Jeez. But like her memories and whatnot live on, and that is what is causing the problem. So yeah, we've got just a ton of existential crisis stuff going on here.
Oh yeah, lots of fun.
Crazy.
Just a ton of existential crisis here, and I am not afraid of making Ada have to go through some bullshit, torturing the character, so to speak. They say writers should be sadistic. Well, I apologize. I apologize in advance. This cute little face. Who could say no to this cute little face? And just so we're clear here, Ada is not the only character I treat like this.
No, she is not.
No, she is not. She is not the only character I treat like this. Every character that I write has to deal with some bullshit.
They have to feel the wrath.
They have to feel the wrath, basically.
But they have to feel the wrath of the Raz.
The Wrath of the Raz.
It kind of worked.
Yeah, the Kodak story.
It's trying to like go for like a weird like alliteration, like because like the R's.
The wrath of the Raz. No, the wrath of the Raz.
Hey,
Kythera Zero is going to be awesome, and more of it. Now you know, buddy, because you, I believe, donated before. Yeah, no. If you want to see more of it, send people over to our Kickstarter. Let the word out.
Yep.
We've got a lot of fun stuff that we want to just show off to people. And no matter what happens, right? Ada's thing is that she'll save you every time. She doesn't give up. Well, that's me putting my heart and soul into the character, not giving up, no matter what. No matter what happens, I will find a way to bring this series into the public consciousness.
Yes. That is definitely not going anywhere.
Shut up, Ben.
What? What? No, I'm saying that our motivation isn't going anywhere. What the heck?
Oh, okay. All right.
You made it sound like I was being a doomer. I'm like, no, I'm saying like our motivation's not going anywhere. We're gonna keep going.
There's so many.
No, seriously though, we're not going anywhere. And I've got very passionate people working with me, very skilled people. It's been a blessing to work with all you guys.
Aw, thanks, man.
It has been a blessing.
Thanks. I know.
Really just want to like get it out there, give it our all, and it's like there's always gonna be like issues, but like we just gotta. It's just like learn from your mistakes.
Learn from your mistakes. We're family, bro.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
can argue about stuff, but it's always in like pursuit of making stuff better.
Getting it right. Yeah. Exactly.
Never like, oh, you suck. No, it's always in trying to make the best it can be.
Right.
So I'm
Yeah.
like super excited about Ada. Again, love her design, love what she represents as a person, love the stories that we can tell with her core wounds here. That's why I want to do like this writing stream so people can actually really understand this character here. Because if you don't understand Ada, then you're not going to understand anybody else. One of the critiques that we got during the short was that, you don't really see much from Ada. Like, General Hawk is the more interesting of the two. And I'm very inclined to agree with that. Whether it's on purpose or not, I am inclined to agree with that. I won't say it's on purpose, because you don't want one character to just be, overshadowed completely by another. But, like, at the same time, the fact that General Hawk is a bombastic personality and Ada is a straight man.
Yeah, so she's not gonna pop on screen as hard as he is.
Yeah, no, General Hawk will chew the scenery. That is just his thing.
Wood chips.
Wood chips, yeah. Yeah, his favorite food is wood chips, right? Of course he's gonna chew the scenery.
Yeah.
He's on stage, he sees wooden planks and shit.
He's a chew master. Nothing else he can chew. It's impossible.
I know, Ada, but like ultimately though, we still want Ada to obviously shine out a lot more, which is why, as we wrote the script for the first episode, we made very certain to let Ada actually shine a lot harder than she did in that short. And that we wouldn't have come to that conclusion without the fan criticism. So that's where we're listening, we're watching, we're trying to make this into something absolutely legendary that exists beyond the ages. Avatar will never disappear. The Last Airbender will never. I mean, the Blue People movie did. No one cares about
The Blue People movie.
Yeah, the Blue People movie did. But like the Last Airbender will be a generation. It'll be like the Batman the Animated Series of 2000s.
Yeah, no one is gonna forget that.
No one's gonna forget Mark Hamill. No one's gonna forget Mark Hamill, Fire Lord.
That's for sure.
I agree.
And we just want to tell stories. We just want to tell stories. Take you guys on fun little story trips. Really get everything off the ground. Start working on like comics and whatnot. We have a lot of plans together for this.
Right.
Yep.
Whether or not they can get off the ground is actually up to the consumer. So I hope that we are doing what we can do for the consumer to say, yeah, that's cool. Now we've gotten tons of love, by the way. We've gotten so much love from people. It's like ridiculous. Like people who like watched the short on YouTube. And the funny thing is the version of the short that got a lot of views on YouTube is the one that I'm personally least fond of, because it's like I had to go back in and do a lot of audio edits that version of the film.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It happens. It's one of those things. It's like, oh man, I guess we gotta just live with it, and this is the one that people looked on the most. No one's like basically.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it's something special. All right, I'm gonna start wondering how much bandwidth my computer can handle with this, as I do this really quickly. I'm gonna let that play in the background. I'm working in DaVinci for a moment, so I can like just put this together really quickly for you guys, so that you can all enjoy it. Yes, right.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, no! What a jam!
What you gonna play in DaVinci?
Yeah, that's right. So,
What you doing,
I've allowed us to unleash ourselves a bit more in this stream, because it's really fun, right? We're winding down. Let's have a blast with everybody. And thank you, little buddy. And Nakai, who I don't see anymore, but I feel like you're still there. Thank you for joining.
I feel you, deep inside. You're still here.
Deep down inside. So we've got a Ada's theme song's instrumental mapped out. This is not the final version of it, but it is like it was going to be uploaded online, but I decided against it because this isn't the final version of it. So yeah, no, this because it's not the final version of the song. I don't think it will do its justice to upload it until like the song's actually ready. But that said, we can still play it as our song. It's Ada's leitmotif. You'll have seen it at the end of the April Fool's thing. Yeah, that's gonna be fun. Let's do it this way. Let me slap you here. Bada bing, bada boom. Let me slap you here. Bada bing, bada boom. Let me zoom out. Drag you to here. And I should do it. Alright, so ready?
Nice.
Ready? Let me save this before going off.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me save this and then change the screen, and then I can close TV Paint. And hopefully you should be able to see that. I can close TV Paint now. Boom! We've got all this fun stuff over here. That's me working in DaVinci. And now, guess what? You guys get an exclusive listen to the actual meat and bones of Ada's theme song. Because this is a huge part of her character. You hear it all over the place.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Let me turn it down. It's that loud.
Yeah.
There we go.
Wow.
Oh, immediately. There was like an issue where we were hearing two songs. Alright. So,
Oh wait.
Hmm?
Is it? It's because I have sound. Wait. How are you hearing two songs? I'm confused. Wait a minute.
well, no, one of them might be the, it might be through like just microphone feedback, which is why I turned mine all the way down.
Hmm.
Interesting.
That's a shame. Sad.
Like a sad burrito.
Sad.
Sad burrito. Alright, let's see there. Oh, snap. Well, I'm glad the song could kind of be made out. That's cool. But there's a lot of stuff into it, though, so maybe next stream I'll, like, just start with the song.
Yeah, or like maybe like when it's like the stream like countdown.
You know, actually, gone down to it. Yeah, no, I'll export this. We'll be good.
Yeah.
We'll be Gucci. Yeah, thank you. I know nothing about composition, so that was a struggle and 15 other struggles. That was a struggle to make. You know, it's a really great song. It's just a character song. If you're wondering what that that's I'll save you every time. So just slap I'll save you every time in there, and you'll be fine.
Isn't it like Ada's Q as well?
Ada's. Yeah, no, like there's another song called what, Ada's Comeback or something.
Yeah. No, it's
There's
the
a-
other. Yeah, it was like
Huh?
dun, 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 dun,
Oh, that's Funk Factory Zero.
dun, dun.
That's actually on our YouTube page, so you can listen to that.
Oh right. Yeah.
Yeah, if you click our name, you'll just find Funk Factory Zero. Ada's got a pair of headphones and she's looking chill. looking cool and rad.
That's the one.
And General Hawk over here is looking mighty intimidating because that is what he does.
Mm-hmm.
He's just coming out of the smoke, a gleam in his eye.
That red. Beam sing.
Yeah, he's coming. He's coming.
Oh, he coming.
He wants revenge. Yeah, he's coming at it.
That's
And like Ada's looking flippant and whatnot, but that's just marketing. Ada in general is actually a lot less flippant looking than she is here. There can always be that bit of sass between characters, but like I said, when you're talking about characters and respecting one another, if you're going to have a character be a snarky butthole, then actually have the other character banter back.
Yeah.
Like, let it be known that banter is a part of their relationship. It's repartee, right? You want one character bouncing off another. You can't just have one character putting down another character with constant sass, and the other character just tucks his tail between his legs and cowers in the corner. You can't be doing
Yeah,
that.
you can't be doing that, man.
Otherwise, anyone watch Cool Cat Saves the Kids? Ada's a big bully.
Oh, no.
He's a clown.
Oh goodness, we're going to get copyright strikes.
He's coming for us.
Daddy Derek isn't going to be happy about this.
Daddy Derek isn't very happy.
That's not cool of us that we mentioned.
Daddy Derek Savage is back. You're infringing on my copyrights. We didn't mean to. It's fair use.
We didn't read it. I'm sorry.
Please, Daddy Derek, put the belt down. What are you doing? Get the cool cat head away from me.
You're wearing it.
Put on the hat.
I don't want to wear it. I don't want to be a mascot character.
I
Become,
don't want to be in a fursuit. I don't want to do it.
become the mascot you were always meant to be.
No fursuit.
No thanks. I'm
That's
out
it.
of here.
Question for you guys.
I'm out of here.
Yeah, quick question for you guys. Ada's a cyborg, so like, how do we handle costumes for this character? I mean, should we make them out of actual metal, or should it be like a bodysuit thing that has the metal drawn on it?
Oh, yeah. I think like a bodysuit or
Like a leotard?
yeah. Or like it'll be funny where because I used to I dressed up as like one of the turtles and like they're when they like for the chest it's like they use
Oh, shell yeah.
cloth or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Did you just say, oh, shell, yeah?
Yes, I did. I was like, as a kid, I remember like wondering to myself, can they say that? Because despite it being 4 kids, there was a lot of hell yeah and shell in it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there was a lot of.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sliding it through like shell shock.
Ada versus Captain America. Yeah, Ada is very important to remember, by the way, that Ada is not like a super duper superhero. She's a slightly augmented human. She has like actual people legs. Like you still have to take into account that she's using legs that are, based on people legs. So while she has slight augments, she can't do too much, or else she will like break her body.
Yeah.
Ow.
I think Cyborg from Teen Titans would actually win. I really do.
Oh no, he would.
Because,
No, he would win. He would destroy Ada in like a minute.
Yeah, you probably win. The death battle is just not even a question. I'm just gonna refer to this live stream as evidence.
It's like he's at the end of the video. It's like he just got clipped or something.
Yeah, they save it for the end, so everybody watches it, and then they just hear what I'm gonna say. Like she would get destroyed.
Yeah, she absolutely gets scored, right? Because it's like it's not about the world-ending stakes. Though there are some like pretty intense, huge stakes. It's actually just about what the character's resourcefulness. I think Ada's resourcefulness is what I like most about like designing scenes, action scenes around her. And obviously, since we've already started going into the first episode, we've had to design action scenes already. So it's like,
Yeah.
I love that she has to like figure out how to. She's small. She's very short. She's not that tall. So she has to like use her stature and like her brains to outfight opponents who are much, much larger than her. So General Hawk here is I think he's like 8 feet tall on this character sheet. Oh,
I
Ada's She's like 5'7".
Yeah, I don't
know. The Ada would probably lose against most enhanced humans from most forms of media.
Yeah,
Like,
no, she's like averagely.
Yeah, she's not the strongest. She's just a boxer. Like Captain America probably is a good fight for her because he is also an augmented human. But he also fights like demigods, and I'm not all that jazzed on the comics. I mean, the MCU Cap might do good as a versus battle, but
Yeah, she's not gonna win most fights against augmented people because she's only mildly enhanced. Whereas like Lee from Naruto is gonna open the 8 gates and punish her to the 10th dimension.
yeah, a Rock Lee punch sends people through walls. Obviously, this is a cartoon, right? So you have to like allow cartoon physics in to some degree. Otherwise, Ada would be very restricted. And why even animate this in the first place? But like generally, no, she's not that durable. She... Oh no, there's tons of people besides General Hawk that she has to wind up getting into fights with. There's already plans for different additions to her that she can have, like a jetpack or whatever that helps her fight like massive, mecha robots and whatnot. That's all in planning. So yeah, no, don't worry about that. She's definitely able to handle herself.
How would she do against Ghost in the Shell?
Oh, Makoto Kusanagi?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like that's what I'd actually want to see.
Yeah, no, that'd be a pretty cool battle. I guess to give the guys that were at Rooster Teeth all the Ada stuff.
Hey, Rooster Teeth, help us make a show so you can make a death battle out of it.
Rooster Teeth's dealing with its own financial problems right now. I don't think they want us.
Tell them to do it anyway.
But
No thanks.
if it were any company that would like pick this up, it'd probably be for me, like Tubi or whatever. Maybe Netflix, maybe. Maybe Amazon.
Yeah.
Prime.
Yeah, those are the ones that I would be more okay with. They seem to give more creative freedom, at least.
My big issue is that like the streaming wars broke off around a couple of years ago. So like at first it was just Netflix and a few stragglers. Now it's Netflix, Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, like plus and plus equals plus.
They're all the
divided,
plus. Let's be
divided
one.
over 30 plus. Oh wait, would she be able to beat Jonathan Joestar? I think she could. I think both Jonathan and Joseph might be good fights for her.
Yeah, no, I think she'd do pretty good against those two because they're just kind of like mildly enhanced like her.
Yeah, like they're using like things like Hamon, and she's a cool badass cyborg. No, those are like good fights for her. And like remember, they use Hamon against like world-ending threats as well. So
Yeah, like
Ada's not unable to fight cataclysmic threats. It's just that she has to use different tools to get there.
Yeah, like if you were just like, if it's just her and a gun, and then she goes to fight like Dracula.
Depends on the version of Dracula.
Okay, well, I mean, if it's the one that heals a lot.
Oh man, I feel like Ada could actually probably find a way around it. I feel like she'd be able to. Like that's what I mean. Just like mind over matter kind of stuff.
I think it falls under the same thing as like with Batman, right? Like he could probably beat a character with an exploitable weakness, but if you stick him in front of like Spider-Man, he's gonna get decked because Spider-Man doesn't have an exploitable weakness.
Yeah, Batman needs prep and whatnot, but he's always got contingencies. Ada's actually probably like closest to Batman in terms of just being a character.
I mean, she is kind of like a pulp character.
Yeah, no, she's a pulp character. She's got like that detective feel to it.
Really? Oh, yeah, speaking of like detective, like what type of like other like are there any other like personalities that she has besides just like stopping crime?
Well, I mean, she has her own interests. Like for one, Like from what she's seen, we've written in that she does have an interest in certain things like dresses on occasion. Like she likes good clothing, not like I wouldn't say like excessively, but like there's certain things where she wants to look nice or she'll put something on that she thinks that compliments her. So she clearly has a sense of like things she wants to look good at times and she wants to just enjoy life.
And like other like outside of like hobbies like planting or like maybe she like those are the type of things I was talking about.
I would say
like small side hobby. That's a pretty good point.
I would say she likes racing.
Yeah, she's actually a ex biker, so that would probably be her hobby. Just one day motorcycles in the garage.
Yeah.
Definitely, I definitely do. Like, you like, I see it. I can tell. Like the colors. Yeah. Because it's very like the colors you use is like very low contrast. And it's like for some reason like because it's like very like industrial. Like a motorcycle is like it's very gray, very low saturated.
Go Speed Racer.
Yeah, I feel like that would actually be her like thing because she does have a motorcycle, like her own motorcycle, her own bike.
Yeah.
There may or may not be a racing episode scheduled for the first season.
Whoa.
What?
There's no way.
Very subtle.
That said, the bike that she uses for official government stuff is not the same bike that she was using during her time as a biker.
No, she uses like the quick name an actual brand and then we get in trouble.
Nah, I'd rather not. She uses Akira's motorcycle though. There we go. She uses Yusei's D wheel.
Yeah,
What's called in English? D runners? Dual runners? I don't know. I never watched 5Ds in English.
Yeah, since she frequently tries to take videos of herself in the exact angle from Akira that gets used in every show.
Wow. My God.
I'm actually writing it, so I'm trying really hard not to do that.
You're trying to avoid using the Akira shot.
Well, everyone's done it. So
Yeah.
I don't want to do it.
It's been contained. It's been used.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's been done a lot.
Maybe she whittles. I don't know. Maybe Ada likes whittling.
She likes whittling.
Oh no, maybe that can be her hobby too. Speed running video games. You can't speed run a video game and have a job. You can't be doing that.
If you speedrun games, you don't have a job. You live with your parents.
Damn.
And this is coming from somebody who plays enough games to know that's true.
All right, man. Now we're gonna do some like crazy, speed running tech. We're gonna make the character slip through this wall, break the game, find herself on the back end of the entire game. She was on level 1. Now she's done level 10. It's great.
Yeah. What happens is that when Ada gets off work, she goes and does hot tub streams.
Yeah, they're called dual runners in English, but in Japanese they're called D-wheels.
Yeah.
So, and I know that because there's an opening in the middle of the series after the first speed run goes. But yeah, no. I would love stuff like that. Honest to God, if I could Yu-Gi-Oh up this world a little bit, I would.
He's not kidding either. He's not kidding. You're talking to somebody who's so into Yu-Gi-Oh. It's scary.
Hey, that's not me. That's Ruby. So the creator,
okay.
The actor creator is way more into Yu-Gi-Oh than I am. But I actually played the game. I'm not sure where she is in the game right now. She's more into like the anime side of things, I believe. I'm more into the card game, though I do watch the anime.
I like making fun of their tomato heads.
Oh yeah, it's Sakaki Yuya's tomato head.
Yeah, he's got like sauce on his head, man. Like he's got to get that off.
Funny story, like to wrap this stream up. I remember there's a. Is anybody familiar with the old YouTuber Rival at the time? He used to be on that guy with the glasses before it imploded on itself.
I don't remember.
Okay, well, long story short, like back when Yu-Gi-Oh! Seal came out, like everybody's biggest complaint was how, like, why is everybody here have hair dye? And like, I was on that complaint, but Zeal came out in 2011. So like a couple years later, everybody, I do mean everybody, was rocking hair dye.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
it called it. It predicted the future. Like, kids were wearing hair dye. It was like the 80s all over again, but on steroids, man. You got Cyndi Lauper here, Cyndi Lauper there. Cyndi Lauper.
Turbo dye.
Influence.
Girls just want to have fun. Yeah, no, guys, it has been great talking to you all about, you know, just our plans for the story, the characters, the Kickstarters. It has been an absolute blast, and it's been a blast, you know, listening to really passionate takes from you, Ben, because I can tell you absolutely love you some writing, you love your Star Wars, you love your
Alien.
Yes.
yeah, no, guys, beware. Like, we can like get in an entire 5-hour-long rant about the stuff that we love.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know, we can get into these kinds of rants. Like, don't get me started on Sonic, because I will.
Oh god.
Oh.
Like, we did like a little bit, like a few earlier ones, like the first, second.
Yeah.
Oh god, no.
Listen, I'm gonna say this so that it's on record. I hate you, I hate Marcus, and I hate Janine for getting me into making me care about Sonic. I was perfectly happy hating it from a distance.
Well, Sonic is such a beautiful IP, dude. I'm so okay. I won't.
We're not actually gonna get into the rant, but I'm just joking. I'm like, I hate you for making me care.
I will not get into it, but I will say, if you do care, look up the Great Lane. Amazing. He's the guy who did the design for Sonic Utopia, that fun fan game that's all about physics and momentum. He did a Twitter thread that basically calls everything, like lays it out on the table. Love it.
Yeah, make sure you have something to do for 30. Make sure you have some food with you, because you're gonna be reading that for 30 minutes or so.
Yeah, just to be clear, if you get to like tell him Raz.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. He's never gonna know.
You'll never know.
Unless they were.
Yeah, we've got 9 days to go, and we've got 97% to fund. Let's get it on.
Let's go.
Let's
get
do
this party
it.
started. Yeah, no, we've got a lot to do. We've got a lot of work to do, no matter what. Data will save us every time, and we're gonna work until our knuckles are showing through our skin. That said, if you want to back it, or if you want to tell people about this project, word of mouth is amazing. Even if they're not backing the project, just word of mouth, word of mouth, word of mouth. All we need. So, please, like, share, subscribe.
Yeah.
Comment, description. We're sponsored by Raid Shadow. Steve VPN.
Sponsored by Raid Shadow of Legend Sandwich.
Yeah, no, we're hashtag sponsored, not sponsored. Curiosities. So yeah, no, word of mouth is amazing. We're going to be working on trying to get more content out there. That said, we're animators. Animated content, as you can see, takes forever to produce, and YouTube is not very nice to animators now, is it? But
No.
no, it's not.
Not a chance. Way too slow.
Spreading the word is what gets it done. That's how you get
Yeah.
you need people to care about your product. You need people to actually, express a verbal desire to want to see it. And that's what we're going to keep on doing, and we're going to keep on pushing K0. We're going to push our other properties, and I guess it's time to sign off. So I've been Raziel, director and storyboard artist and character designer. Worn many hats for the studio.
Yes.
For YG Pro.
I've been Ben Sutherland, the co-founder, producer, production manager, writer, also wearing a million different hats. I've lost track of where some of them are.
Stacked up.
Oh, they're really stacked up.
Let me take some.
I've become
Welcome to my world, Ben.
a marketer. I didn't want to be a marketer.
Yeah, no, we've had some marketing faux pas occur. This Kickstarter.
I mean, the thing is, like, just going on the internet and, like, interacting constantly, like, I'm not that person, but I have to be.
Yeah.
It's the only way.
It almost feels fake, but no, it's not. It's not. We are, we're trying to make ourselves nice when we speak as the studio.
We are
Marcus,
making...
Yep. And I'm Marcus,
Who are you?
the animator.
It is. It's Marcus, the animator. He's that guy who does the animation thing.
He says that, but he's also pegged the storyboard the first episode, for half of it, actually.
Yes, yeah.
The animator, storyboard artist. What else are you, man? Voice actor. He's our soundboard.
Yeah,
He's a living soundboard.
I am a soundbox, by the way. I'm not just a person. I'm an actual soundbox.
Marcus, make a sound effect for Ada's feet. She's going for a walk on the beach. Go. You did it. Man, she's got some squeaky shoes.
Yeah.
We have more fun stories about this guy next time on Thursday, guys.
Yeah, we'll be back on Thursday.
Same time.
All right, well, we're going to sign off.